This is Angela Wilty. She has been brought in for questioning about the murder of her husband, John. Angela started dating John when she was just 19. After she became pregnant with their daughter, they quickly got married. The relationship was rocky, and they took several breaks. Angela began to show a dangerous side. She once even attempted to poison him. He was looking for a way out of the marriage without realizing that Angela would be the one terminating the relationship and him. John was on his way to work when he was approached by someone he knew. Something must have alerted him that the situation was dangerous because he tried to run. He was shot several times and managed to make it 4 houses away before he was killed in the driveway of a neighbor who made a call to 911.
From school. No. What was yesterday?
Thursday. Mm-hmm.
Thursday. Yeah, because I worked yesterday. We had appliances delivered over there. And I picked up my daughter from school at, when did I pick her up yesterday? I know Wednesday she got picked up at 6. Yesterday was tryout, so it was like 4:30, I guess. No, wait, what? Oh my God, that's why I needed my book. I write down everything. I picked her up from school yesterday. I do know it was after 4.
Do you have a text message from her saying, "Hey, Mom," or anything like that?
Okay, at 5:08, she texted me and said she was done. So I'll take that back, because I worked yesterday. I told her I was on my way back to Olive Branch, so Dad went and picked her up. I said, I headed to school unless you call your dad because he's already home. That was at 5:19. So Dad went and picked her up yesterday, and I met them at the house.
Did y'all drive in all at the same time?
No, I actually got to the house right before them. And then me and her went to Walmart, because she comes in there and she's like, Mom, Dad wouldn't take me to Walmart. She gets aggravated. She's this spoiled child. She's like, gotta have everything. So I had to take her to Walmart to get some stuff for a project.
Okay.
And when we got back from Walmart, he was in the bathroom getting ready to take his shower. And when he got out of the shower, he asked me if I picked him up any drinks or anything for work. And I said no, that I didn't, because he does a lot of the grocery shopping, because I work a lot. He works a lot, but he likes to shop, where I hate to shop. So he left and went to Walmart and bought some drinks, and he texted me a few times asking me if I needed anything.
What time did he go to Walmart?
June. It wasn't last night, it was Wednesday night. He went to Walmart. Oh my God. It was Wednesday, he went to Walmart. Yesterday was Thursday. Looks really good, thank you. What time is Kate coming home? That was at 4:31.
Yesterday?
Yeah, 4:31. He asked me what time was Kate coming home. He said he texted her and no answer. I said she's at dance practice. So, dang, did he pick her up yesterday? Yeah. He had to, because she told me he wouldn't take her to Walmart. And
I went to Walmart last night.
Me and her went to Walmart and got a few things that she needed for her project. Had to get the poster board.
Caitlin is the daughter of Wilty and her husband. Wilty had another child by a previous marriage, and John had 5 children from 3 failed relationships. Caitlin was unaware of her mother's involvement in her father's death.
So it was Wednesday night. He went to Walmart and got drinks. Last night he just took a shower and laid down. So he was tired. So he didn't go anywhere last night after he got home from work. And I know at 7:30 he was laying down. He went to AutoZone. That's where he went last night. Because I had the guy that I work for out of Florida, he's in town. And he came over and him and John took a ride to check out the truck. Because we've been having some issues with the front end of the truck.
The Nissan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we've spent like $800 or $900 in wheel bearings and control arms and all that. So we got into it, and I told him, I was like, John, why do you want to keep spending money? Have somebody look at the truck. Because him and I can't work on a vehicle together. I know a lot about vehicles, but he knows more. Love the man to death. So I told him, I was like, hon, why don't you either take it to the shop, pay $75 to let them look at it, or have somebody to look at it and give you an idea of what's going on, instead of just replacing and keep replacing stuff that doesn't really need to be replaced. He was like, well, I don't know anybody. The guy that was supposed to come and help me never showed up.
So what's your boss from Florida's name?
Everybody calls him Shavi, but his name is Nisim, N-I-S-I-M.
N-I-S-I-M.
Benavi.
Spell that again.
B-E-N. It's a capital A-V-I. And,
do you have his phone number in your phone?
It's 631 210-4783.
And where does he stay when he comes in town?
He has an RV, so he stays out off of Walnut Grove at the agricultural park over there. But he came over, and he's the one helping move my bed, getting the doors to where they'll open and all that. And I was like, well, John, look, Shavi's here. Why don't y'all take a ride in the truck, let him drive it, and because when we're not working on houses, he's in Florida working on cars. They've got a shop over there. And I was like, maybe he can help you figure out what's wrong with it. So they drove, I don't know where they went, they took a ride, come back, and I was like, well, what'd you come up with? And John's like, I'm not sure if it was a control arm or what, that he hadn't changed. So he goes to AutoZone, and I don't know if the parts are in the truck or what, but he supposedly went and got the parts. And I asked him, I was like, well, are you going to fix it? He says, no, I'm tired. I've been at work since 4 this morning or something, because he got call-outs.
Right.
Sometimes he'll leave the house at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning.
What does he do there?
He's the maintenance man. If a pump or agitator belts or auger, anything goes out, they call him in. He's like one of their top guys there. He's been out there for, I want to say something like 23, 24 years. His base income, this will tell you how much he gets called out. His base income is around 55 a year. Last year, he made 108. So he gets called out a lot.
Right.
His normal 40-hour paycheck bring home would be like $6.
That's good.
But with all the call outs, it's like $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a week. And he fusses at me because I work a lot. But I like to save money because you never know what's going to happen.
Mhm.
That's the way I've always been taught.
And is your car paid for?
Yes.
What about his truck?
No. We just got that truck.
Where did he buy it at? It's like it's not brand new, right?
It's a piece of crap. We bought that truck and I told him after a month, honey, I think we messed up. Because it's been nothing but problems. I even tried to get them to take it back and give me my car I traded in.
So yesterday when you got home at about whatever time
Kate, I picked Kate up. This is gonna bother me.
Do you have a text from Kate?
I'm gonna ask her. Who picked you up from school yesterday, baby? Dad picked you up. Alright, and did y'all come straight home after that? Okay, and then after you got home, that's when me and you went to Walmart. Okay. Okay, baby. Alright, I'll call you back soon. I love you. Bye, baby. Yeah, I picked her up.
Alright. So,
And now I took her to Walmart to get her stuff for her project.
okay. And did you and him argue at any point yesterday? Were y'all arguing, fussing?
We have arguments like every other normal couple.
Mm-hmm.
Because we work a lot. We have a lot of debt over our head. We're just now getting to where we can see above water.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes, like I said, he likes to shop. But he likes to do his own thing too.
Right.
So yeah, we had one of our normal arguments
And what was that
over
about?
money.
Financial argument?
Yeah. Because he wants a car. He don't like the truck. And we can't get another car. Because when his other car got stolen, before he came back to me, his car got stolen. And we had to get that one paid off.
Insurance didn't pay for it?
He had just had it. He got it like that December. He made the down payment in December because he had totaled his previous truck. So when he got back on the truck, he put money down on the car. And being said, I guess the blue book value of the car, he gave more than what it was really worth. And the insurance paid a good bit of it. We still owed a few thousand on it. So within the last year and a half, we've tried to clear up all his debt that he got into while he wasn't with me.
Okay, and you said y'all broke up when?
2015. We had a big fight. It was August 21st.
2015?
Yeah.
And what was that argument over?
He was drinking Jägermeister, which John never drinks hard liquor. He's not a drinker.
I've got 4 Bud Lights that's been in my refrigerator for probably a year.
Mhm.
He doesn't drink.
Okay. He never drinks?
He hasn't drank anything since he's been back. He might have drank 2. There was a 6-pack. He's one periodically, but he's not a drinker.
But on August 21st, he was drinking Jaeger.
Yeah.
Where did y'all live then?
We weren't together.
Okay.
We were living separately. He lived in an apartment. I lived at the house, and he called me over to the apartment. He had been drinking. We had had a big fight prior to the incident, and he beat the shit out of me.
So you went over to the apartment, y'all got into a fight, and then he beat you up, and then what happened?
He went to jail.
You called police?
No, I didn't. I wasn't able to call the police. He was trying to kill me. He told me.
Somebody else called the
My
police?
son did. My 18-year-old.
Was he with you?
He was driving. I wouldn't drive that night because I've had like 2 Smirnoffs, and I'm not going to drink and drive.
Okay.
And I told him, John, I don't need to come over there because it sounds like you're upset. So we ended up, we've gotten through all that. We've got fines. Well, he has fines to pay. He's on probation. We moved past all that after him and Gia split up and he came back home.
So what apartments do you live in?
Oh, God. I don't even know the names of them. I know it was off of Houston Lane. You go down Winchester. You go down Hacks Cross to Winchester, take a right, and it's an apartment down off of that road.
I can look it up, that's fine.
That's one of his last. He's only had 3 addresses in the last
So when y'all
16 years, I guess.
when y'all separated in 2015, do you remember what month it was? Because in August, he got arrested, so was it a couple of months before that, or a couple, January, February, March, do you remember?
Where were they at after Christmas? 14. He totaled his truck in 15. April, May. I'm trying to think if the kids were out of school. Sometime I guess March, April. We were just getting through all that mess.
From the red?
Well, from him beating me up.
But he wasn't living at home then, he was in the apartment. So you went up there, y'all both had been drinking, he beat you up real bad, your son called 911, Memphis showed up, he got arrested. And he's still doing probation for that?
Yeah, he's on probation for 11/29 because they drug it out, I guess, because of the court dates. And then I gave a friend of mine, which was his roommate at the time, I gave him the money to go bail him out because they told me that things that I was a part of the case that I couldn't bail him out.
So who'd you give the money to bail him out?
Kyle.
Who's Kyle?
A guy that he works with. Larimore.
Larimore.
So Kyle, and Kyle's dad, which is, I don't know his name. I know it's Mr. Larimore, they all work out there at PMC. I went with them to get John, bail him out, and I knew he wasn't going to want to see me.
Right.
So I went back home. Kyle brought me back home, and then when John got out of jail, after, we paid the money to bail him out, he got out of jail. He never called none of us to pick him up, so I started worrying about him. I've always worried about him, even when he was with the crackhead, because he's a good person. Just because me and him have our arguments, he's a really good person. He's not the total, family committed, but I'm tried.
Has he had several marital?
He's got 6 kids.
During this 16-year period y'all were together?
No.
Prior to y'all's marriage?
He's got 5 before us.
Okay.
And then we had Caitlin together. He's, the doctors told us when me and him went to the doctor one time, he has, I guess they call it a sex addiction. That some people can't control.
So all those other kids, are they by different women?
He's got a set of twins that are 30 and 36. They're 5 years younger than me.
The age gap between Wilty and her husband was a contributing factor to the strain on their relationship.
A daughter.
The twins are boys? And how old are they?
They're 5 years younger than me.
So 31?
31. They were born in April. Oh, God.
And do y'all get along? You get along with his other kids?
They don't ever call me.
I mean, do they come to the house? Where do they live?
I'm not 100%. I know Josh stays in Memphis somewhere. I don't ever see his kids. I talk to his daughter that's in Louisiana. We Snapchat, and I try to keep up with my kids, but Josh and Chris, they've never, I guess because I was always so close to their age, they envied me being with their dad.
And what's their last name?
Wilty.
That's the twins? Does he have any, that's 3.
That's 2. Besides Caitlin.
Yeah. His daughter in Louisiana, what's her name?
Ashley. Her last name's Wenger. Wenger.
And then what
He's
else?
got Crystal, and her last name's Wilty. And
How old is
she's
she?
21.
Where she live?
The girls live in Louisiana.
They both live in Louisiana?
And the twin, now Josh is supposedly being in Memphis somewhere.
Okay.
So Chris is the other twin. I don't know where he's at. John hasn't talked to him in a while.
So
Then you got Ashley, Crystal, and then John Paul, which is the youngest boy.
where's he live?
He's in Kentucky somewhere.
His last name Wilty?
Yes, ma'am.
And how old is he?
He's 19, 20.
Does he have a good relationship with all them?
Mm-hmm.
No.
He talks to Josh. He talks to Ashley. But him and Chris, during the time him and I weren't together, him and Chris had a falling out because Chris would borrow money and never pay it back, or just only call him when he needed something. And then Crystal, I don't know why he didn't talk to her much. She blamed John for not being there when they were little.
And they all have the different parents?
Josh and Chris have
Twins.
one,
Mhm.
and then Ashley and Crystal have one,
Okay.
and then John Paul has another one.
Okay.
So there's 3 baby mamas, and then we got Kate.
Okay.
Like I said, John was never a bad person. He was never a hard drinker. That incident, and I couldn't do anything because the state took it in their hands when the incident happened. But I told my son, you should have never called the cops. He was like, Mom, you cut him open.
You cut him open?
During the incident, and I don't even remember doing that.
Where'd you cut him?
On his knees.
Both of them?
That's what he told me. Because when I've always carried a pocket knife on me.
Wilty had attacked her husband numerous times. These attacks were usually unprovoked.
Which I don't have today. But, I guess when he was, because I know he had me on the ground, beating me in my head, telling me he was going to kill me. And I don't know, that fight or flight kicked in, and I just went to swinging, thinking that he would back up. I don't know. But, like I said, with us drinking, we moved past it. We're almost through this 1129. We've been paying all that money out, just trying to get through that.
So that was in August 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all go through a period where y'all didn't talk?
Yes.
And how long was that?
After he went to jail, the day he got out of jail, I was worried because he didn't call nobody. Nobody knew where he was, so I went riding around looking for him. I seen him walking down Winchester towards his apartment. I stopped. I said, John, let me take you home. No, I'm not allowed to talk to you. I was like, just get in the car. You don't even got to speak to me. Just let me take you home. You don't have to walk. And he argued with me, and I just sit there because I'm stubborn, and I was like, look, just get in the damn car. Let me take you home. He got in the car. I took him to his apartment. I told him if he needed me, call me, but I was going to leave him alone and let him gather his thoughts. I didn't want to fight. I hate fighting.
Okay.
You know, this is like the only person I've ever loved in my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Never knew what love felt like. And I don't believe I could ever love nobody else again. But I left him there. He had his truck there at the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't talk until November.
November 15?
2015. He came by my house, and he had his girlfriend with him. And she got out of the truck, and I told John, I said, look, can you please have your girlfriend to get back in the truck?
What did he come to the house for?
To bring my daughter her birthday present, which was like an iPhone watch or whatever, Apple Watch.
Okay.
But I asked him nicely, I said, tell your girlfriend to get back in the truck. I think it's very disrespectful. We're still married. We're not divorced. We're not legally separated. So I appreciate it. Should get back in the truck. This is your daughter's birthday. Respect that. So
Okay.
he asked Dia to get back in the truck, and she did. And we stood out in the garage. He gave Kate her watch, and he wasn't there long at all when he left. He got to where he would come by, pick Kate up, during the weekend, sometimes every weekend, sometimes once during the week, take her out to eat. Because that was our biggest fuss, is Kate. Don't go being with somebody else and give up on your daughter. You've done that 5 other times, and I'm not going to let it happen this time. So when all hell and all that broke loose with him and his girlfriend in October, I think it was.
What do you mean, all hell?
He found his girlfriend in the bathroom almost dead on heroin. had a needle stuck in her arm. He called me a couple of days after that and he was talking to me about the problems he was having with her and all that. And I told him, I was like, John, really, hon, what is it going to take for you to quit messing with somebody like that? I said, you're a good person. You deserve better than that. You don't deserve someone that's going to take you for everything that you have. I've never done that. You've always had everything you've wanted. So why go for somebody like that?
And that was in October?
I believe it was October. His car got stolen.
Before that or after?
I'm trying to think. Because they split up during the time the car got stolen. Because he kept telling the girl, put the keys in your pocket. Don't lay the keys down when you go in the store, on the counter. Put the keys in your pocket. You know, he stayed on her about that. I don't think, August, this 16, so this is 18, so 17. August 17 is when the car got stolen, because he bought it in December of 16.
Okay.
Car got stolen. Is it Target or TJ Maxx right there on Summer Avenue? And we went through that. We just got it paid off. I just mailed in the last payment a week ago, because they told him he couldn't buy another car until that one was paid for, because you can't have but 2 vehicles with a loan on it. And at the time I had a Hyundai with a loan, and then we traded it in for our truck, and then we still had the loan on the car.
And you met Dia that one time? Or?
No, I met her many times after that one time I met her. She seemed like a real nice girl, but she was a drug head. She was on methadone. He was paying like $100 a week for a methadone clinic for her to go get methadone. She was buying heroin. They were screwing them. They went through $40,000 in 6 months.
So do you think he was doing heroin?
I know he was doing ecstasy with her. He told me that. But I don't know that he ever tried the heroin, because John's not he's not a drug head.
There were no drugs in John's system at the time of his death, nor was there any indication that he was a habitual user.
I know lately he's kind of been on the edge.
What do you mean on the edge?
Everything, he's kind of snappy about it, but I try to tell him that's what pain pills do to you. I was on pain pills for many years, for all the pain, until they came up and said, okay, you got rheumatoid arthritis. They were just feeding me pain pills. They'd give me $120 a month, and I'd take one a day, and I just stack them up. But he got bad on pain pills, to where when the doctor just said, okay, we're not giving you any more, he laid on our couch for 3 days sweating. And I told him, I said, baby, you're going through DTs. You're just going to have to suffer this out. Because if he had a headache, I think a lot of it at the end was like, if he had a headache, he'd pop a pain pill. If he got up in the mornings and his body was stiff, he'd pop a pain pill.
So where did he get all these pain pills?
Recently, he went back to the doctor. His back doctor gives him like 30.
Okay.
I know he has brought pain pills home from work.
Do you think he's buying them from work, or?
I don't think that he's buying them. I think the guy gives them to him, because John is like, okay, well, he feels, well, if you're hurting, here's your, you can try one of these. he's super nice person. I know, and I keep telling him, you can't give people your pills. That's illegal. That would be like me giving you my pill. I can't do it, even though you're my husband. I can't give you my pain pills. I'm sorry. I'll fight over that. I can't give you that kind of medicine. Go to the doctor. But he would bring these pain pills home, and he'd show them to me, and he'd be like, well, I don't remember what they are, so I'd pull them up, the numbers, and I'd tell him, oh, well, that's a tramadol. It's more of a muscle relaxer than a pain pill, but it does have something in it for pain. And I told him, I was like, you don't really need to be taking this kind of stuff. You're on probation. You do a drug test, and you have it in your system, and you don't have a prescription for it, you're going to jail. And I have done everything I can to protect you from all that. He wouldn't take his depression meds, he wouldn't take his high blood pressure meds, but he'd take a pain pill. And I know he hurt, because he's got like some disc problem in his lower back, where he was having injections done. I know he's got back problems.
So, Dia has been out of the picture.
As far as I know.
When was the last time that you know of, he had contact with her?
He told me a couple weeks ago. She called home at work. And that's because I know he's got a cell phone, but he's not going to use the cell phone. He's not going to use it to do what he wants to do. He's got a work phone. He's got an office to himself. You know, I even bought him this nice reclining chair. It's an office chair, but it lays back to where you can take naps at work. It's got this little footstool thing that comes out right here to prop your feet up. Bought him that because that's his second home. I don't know if I told you earlier, he worked like 23, 24, 25 hours last weekend.
All weekend?
Yeah.
So, Dia called him at work, and what did she want?
He didn't really tell me. He just told me that she called and wanted to talk, and I was like, well, what did you talk to her about? He said nothing, I had to go. He never really told me, because I know he was on a $50,000 bond for her, and she ended up going to jail. And he told me the day that she went to jail. And I was like, well, John, if you hadn't been talking to her, how do you know she went to jail? He can't answer all that. I can't say that he hadn't been seeing her or somebody. He says he hadn't been.
Did y'all fight about her last night?
I've been leaving that alone. I don't accuse him of going out and doing nothing. He just tells me all the time, I'm being faithful, I'm not cheating, I don't drink no more, I don't want that life, I want us to work out. And the only thing I can tell him is quit bitching about money.
So he brings up the financial part?
Yeah, 'cause he likes to shop. And when he goes to Walmart and spends $200 or $300 on junk that we can't really cook, then I get mad. I'm like, your daughter's got to eat healthy. You know, if you want to eat cakes and junk food at work, do it. But I got to cook. I got to keep her healthy. She's in dance. Quit buying all the junk food. We don't need it.
So you don't eat junk food? Do you take any pills other than what's prescribed to you?
No.
Okay.
No.
And all those pills you said you got, you stockpiled them, what'd you do with them?
I turned them in, drugstore, they get rid of them for me. But that's been years ago.
So you hadn't had him since?
No, the last Lortab that I took from my doctor was like a week ago. I took one, and then the only thing I have now is like ibuprofen 800 milligram. I take Adderall, alprazolam.
Wilty and her husband constantly fought over finances. While this can be a sore point for many couples, the Wiltys were particularly vicious. There's a quick reminder that I have a Patreon page with a ton of exclusive and ad-free content, like this one about a predator that was exposed live on TV. His interrogation is definitely something you'd want to watch, and you can do that right now at patreon.com/Stranger Stories Plus.
And then since the car accident, they put me on a couple of muscle relaxers. I got all packed every day because they're like, okay, well, if you take this, you can't drive for 6 hours. And I'm like, well, there's the only place I'm ever sitting for more than 6 hours would be overnight in my house. I'm actually working on trying to just get completely off of all the meds, because anything that goes in goes straight to my kidneys and my liver, and I'm not trying to hurt myself.
So what pills do you take? The alprazolam?
Adderall.
Adderall?
Take Adderall, alprazolam, ibuprofen as needed. I have a depression pill that I take.
What's the name of it?
Starts with a C. I used to have all the medicines in here. Alexa. And I don't take Linzess no more.
So you take depression medicine, why?
Because I'm always depressed.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm depressed. They tell me I'm depressed because I don't associate with nobody. But that's just
You don't have any friends at all?
Mm-hmm.
Your work boss, the one from Florida,
He's my friend.
so y'all all get along, you, your husband, and him, y'all hang out or whatever?
My husband tells him all the time, thanks for teaching me the things that I know.
You hadn't had any type of relationship with that man?
No.
Okay.
No.
I have to ask these questions, you know, I want you to feel like
I have a hysterectomy, so sex is like out there now. I don't even care for it. That's one of my husband's issues with me, because I can go months and months and months without it, and then maybe once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But since the hysterectomy, I don't feel the same.
Do you take estrogen replacements, anything like that? Do y'all fight about sex?
Hmm.
No.
He'll say something once in a while about, I wish my wife was more affectionate. But how can you be affectionate if you're out there hanging sheetrock and you're working your butt off all day and you want to come home and just relax? You know?
So, Dia, let's go back to Dia. What type of people does Dia hang out with? Do you know?
Drug head.
And Dia knew?
At least somebody that stole his car.
You think she had that car stolen, or you think?
I feel deep inside that she did, because him and her were fighting for weeks. He would call me from his work and tell me about, well, she's getting later and later picking me up. One night I thought I was going to go have to get him from work and take him home. Because, you know, once they do the needle, they're like out for a while.
Right.
But I told him, it's like, look, you can come back here, stay in the master room, I'll sleep in another room, I don't care. Just please, you're too good of a person to deal with that.
And you don't think he was doing drugs?
I don't feel like he was, because John cares a lot about his job. He cares a lot about himself too. Like I said, I think the only thing John did was paying bills. At one point, he was on somas, and that's been a few years back. He was taking somas like they were candy. He was buying those.
So he buys a lot of pills off the street.
Well, I can't say he does or he don't. I can just say that the man's never broke. He'll go to the bank, he'll get him $200 out of the bank, and I'm like, well, what do you need $200 for? I don't even walk around with $200. And I buy materials for work, and, you know, I'm constantly buying stuff for work, and I don't even walk around with that kind of money. So he'll get like, once in a while, he'll go and get him $400 out of the bank. But then a week later, I'm like, you get any money? Can I get $10? Oh, I'm broke. But you just got $200, or you just got $400. So why are you broke?
Do y'all have a joint checking account?
Everything's joint.
I mean, when he moved out, did he have a separate account you didn't know about, or?
He had an account. I've always had access to his account because I know all of his information. So I was always able to look at his account. I just never told him I looked at it. I seen where they were shopping every Thursday. They were spending $300, $400, $500 at clothing stores for this girl, and I'm like, he's never done that for me. But I didn't say nothing, and that was his life. And, you know, the lights on his apartment was in my name. We've always been pretty close friends, even when we split up.
Would you say you were real jealous of Dia?
I wasn't jealous of her, no.
Okay. Would you say she was jealous of you?
Oh, yeah. She kept telling him all the time she wanted what I had. She had him, but she wanted a house. She wanted a car. But she wrecked his car a couple times. And I don't know what she was on, but I know she was on drugs. He told me many times that he bought her heroin. He gave her money for heroin. And he found her in the bathroom one night, lips all blue and everything. And I'm like, why would you want to put yourself through that? He's like, well, I thought I could help her.
So John, even after he moved home, he was taking $200 and $300 out of the bank account? When was the last time he took a large amount out?
Last week. Day. Because my daughter went and asked him for $20. Because she come and asked me for money first. She won't ask him for money. But, I told her, I was like, baby, I don't have none. I had like $3 on me or something. I was like, go ask your dad. He just got some money out of the bank the other day, or yesterday or something. And, so she went and asked him for money, and he told her he was broke. $200 on the 10th.
And you said he had a pistol?
His friend has his. His is broken.
What kind of gun did he have?
I'm not sure if it was a 9 or a 45. I know, I don't know a lot about guns. Like I said, the one y'all have of mine, I went to Arkansas after we got it, and we shot it down on my cousin's place where they hunt.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time I ever even shot the gun. And then I took my son to the gun range before he went to the Army, and I let him shoot it. But as far as me shooting the gun, I think I've shot it twice over in Arkansas. 'Cause
So-
I'm real nervous with them anyway. 'Cause It's
Yeah.
got too much kick for me.
So John's gun, what friend of his has it?
Terry Rutherford. You want his phone number?
Yes, ma'am.
I have it.
Where's Terry live?
Her name down. One light. Set off at 301 Caroline Road.
Probably the county.
It's see if it'll pop up here. I know it's in my phone, so. Oh, I swear it won't show up on my.
That's fine, we'll get it later.
Well, it shows up on my text when I type it into text him.
So, how do you know Terry?
He's just been John's friend for many years. It's 901 413 5022.
Okay.
He's been John's friend for a long time. When me and John first got together, I was 19 years old. About 3 months after we got together, I found out I was pregnant. with
Oh,
Caitlin.
really?
So, the first year we were together, we had a kid. At the end of that year. But, he's been friends with Terry pretty much ever since he's been out of PMC.
Does Terry work at PM?
He's in the maintenance department. He's got another friend out there called me this morning, was asking about him, if he was going to show up. His name is Franco Davis. You know his number too.
Why did he call you?
Well, because John always comes in at no later than 5 o'clock in the mornings to do like scheduling, get all the maintenance men. He's the lead guy. And he'll always he goes in and does all of his paperwork, getting everything sorted out for the work that day. And Franco was calling and asking about him this morning.
What time did Franco call you?
At 7:06 this morning.
And were you outside in the garage when he called?
No, I was actually I was in my bedroom. I had an officer right there beside me.
Okay. And what did he ask you?
Was John coming to work today? And I was like, no. I didn't want to go into no details on what happened. And he was like, is John okay? No. What's going on? And I was like, I can't talk about it right now. Is he going to be back to work tomorrow? And I felt at that point I was under 20 questions. And I told him, I was like, Franco, look, John had some type of altercation this morning before he left work with somebody. I don't know what happened. It's just in the beginning of it, but John got shot. He said, where is he at? Is he going to be okay? And I was like, I don't think so. But I'll call you as soon as I know something. And the next thing I heard was, I gotta go. He hung up. But anybody out there at work can tell you, John's like, he's super nice. I can't see him having an altercation with somebody like this. Unless he's doing something else that I don't know about.
Like, what do you mean?
Messing around with Dia and her group. I don't know. I know there's a lot of times he tells me he's working late, but he's told me in the past he was gonna work late too, and he wasn't. I just take it with a grain of salt now. I don't go looking for him, and I don't check up on him. I just believe what he tells me now. Hey, you're working late. I gotta go get Kate at school at such and such time, or I gotta go to physical therapy at such and such time. You know, I have to go to physical therapy because of my car accident.
Does John have life insurance at work?
I believe so.
Do you know how much the policy is?
I don't.
Wilty was aware of John's life insurance policy. After his death, she received $800,000.
He never brings check stubs home or anything. Since I went to that new system, in order, you know, every once in a while, like he just made a loan over at Tower Loan right before Christmas, and he brought check stubs home then, and then he had to show a check stub to the court, so.
So you only he has direct deposit,
Mhm.
so he probably doesn't get a check stub. He has to go online or something.
Yeah, he can print them out at work. He used to have it set up on my phone, but every 30, 60 days or something, he's got to change his password.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even mess with it. I deleted it. I try not to like get, there's too much to keep up with.
Right.
I keep up with the bills, the kids, the groceries, the cooking. That's just too much.
And you have a son. What's your son's name?
I got two sons. Dylan Casey is the one in the Army.
And he's 18, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And the other one?
Bradley Casey.
Where's he live?
He lives with his dad in Atoka.
Wilty did not have a close relationship with her ex, but that didn't stop her from coming to him with an unsettling proposition.
Am I selling anything to that?
No, that's fine. Shit, I ain't gonna print right now. We'll get the talking out of the way first. I'm very sorry. What's your name again?
Michael.
Michael.
Casey.
Casey? Okay. I'm Craig Dixon. I'm the tip supervisor over here, okay? So, I guess you kinda know where we're at and what's been going on. John has, of course, passed, in a bad way.
I know.
So, man, I guess just, why'd y'all, give me some background, why'd y'all get a divorce and all that stuff?
It's crazy.
Okay.
No, it's just, I mean, she cheated on me a couple times, and we just both was young, and
How long ago was that y'all didn't even
oh
divorce?
my God, Missy, I was single for 13 years before me and her's been together. Going on
So you
20
say
something years. Bradley was 3 years old, and he's 20, so 18 years.
18 years ago. Okay. And how long were y'all married for during that
Off
time?
and on.
Oh, okay.
First time we was together, we was maybe a year, and then we split up, and then it was one down. But the last time I looked at it, I said, no, can't do this no more. My son's 3 years old.
Yeah. Understandable. I mean, family comes first.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when it's your son, somebody who can't, very dependent upon you to, survive. I asked you out there in the lobby, I'm gonna ask you again, okay? Same question.
Yeah, I know your video.
And I'm gonna get you to write it too, but, how long ago has it been? I heard it was something like 2 years ago or something that she approached you and said, hey, will you?
No, it's been longer than that, because me and her's been, this was back in 2013, 13, 14.
Oh, okay, so about a good 4 years ago
Yeah.
it was, okay. I mean, did she just call you out of the blue one day? I was like,
I mean, she was basically, it came out of the blue.
yeah,
If that's what you're asking.
yeah.
You know.
So she called you on the phone, or she was with you
No,
face to face?
face to face.
Okay, so tell me about that.
We was actually going to see my son play football at Ole Miss Stadium,
Okay.
and he was in middle school, and she basically told me she wanted to pay me to kill him.
How much did she give a price or anything on how much she wanted to,
$2,000.
$2,000 to kill him? Okay. And did she say with his own gun?
No.
Oh, okay.
She wanted me to get the gun and everything. I was like, no.
Wow. Did she ever say like, oh, he's got a gun or something like that?
Yeah, I knew he had a gun.
Oh, okay.
Because they got into it one time, and I ended up having to go to the house. And they got in, I can't remember if she had the gun or if he had the gun. I think he had the gun saying he was going to kill himself. So I got to the house, and I just told John, let me have the gun.
Yeah, yeah.
He said, I won't let you have the gun, but I'll give you the clip. So I kept the clip.
Okay.
Overnight anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember what kind of gun it was or anything at the time? It's okay.
I want to
It's been a while.
say something like a 9mm. I might be wrong.
Okay.
Might have been a 45. You know, I knew it cocked.
Yeah, semi-automatic.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I mean, it's been a long time ago,
Yeah.
like you said, so I don't want to expect you to be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it was humid outside.
No.
Okay.
It was pretty. I think it was rain.
Yeah.
That much I do.
This was been around
Yeah.
this year.
We met out.
Okay.
But y'all do know she did try to poison.
How'd that come about?
She told me out of her own mouth.
Did she say what kind of pills?
No ma'am. And it was one of her friends that lived down the street. I can't remember her name because she done moved. Now this happened, you know, around the same time about that gun incident.
Oh, okay, it was about 4 years ago.
Yeah. Well, it's been longer than that because me and my wife's been married 3, and we was together 2 before we got married. I mean, when we started dating.
So,
She crushed them up and put them in his food.
did he have to go to the hospital or anything?
She wouldn't take him to the hospital. He about died in the floor.
How did it get better?
That I don't know. I guess over time. I don't know.
Did he ever figure it out that she did that?
Yeah, her friend, the one I was just talking
Yeah.
to, told him. Because Angie told her friend and me sitting on the front porch.
Wow.
At Angie's house?
Yes, ma'am. At Alexander, where all this just happened.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. I wouldn't trust no more after all. And she knows I know that.
Mm-hmm. So when her and John split, did you and her have any contact? Did she call you at any time during their split?
I didn't. I thought they was back together.
No, before.
Before
Before he came back home, like 2015 when.
Oh no, me and her don't talk like that.
Okay.
Now before me and Tanya got married and got together, me and her just talk. I mean, we were basically best friends.
Right.
You know, but when me and my wife got together, you know.
Yeah. Cut ties.
Yeah.
As much as you can anyway. You got a kid together. So.
Well, that's something I look at different than my wife, cause my wife, she gets on to me all the time. I don't care, I ain't gotta talk to her. My son's 20 years old, if I gotta, if I don't
Oh, he's 20 now, okay, yeah, well, okay.
So, how long ago was it that she asked you to kill him?
Well, it was before me and her got together. So it had to be around 2012, 2013. Am I in trouble?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you know, she's been,
She's prime suspect.
and she's been not telling the truth.
And there's 100 different things she's gonna tell you.
So,
I just don't want to be called up on the witness stand or anything.
no, I mean, all these other people have been coming in and telling me this already, because John apparently told them, and so that's why I was like, well, I gotta talk to you at some point, so I wasn't sure if it'd be tonight, but you know what, we're here,
Well,
so. Yeah.
When my son said he was coming down here, being a father, I'm gonna be here.
Oh,
You know.
Absolutely.
You know, and I just, you know, because I'm close to, now I'm more close to, as far as his siblings, I'm more close to Dylan than I am Caitlin.
Okay.
Dylan, you know, he's in the service.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So I watched him, you know, which I watched Caitlin too, but since my son's been,
Yeah.
you know, and since me and her's been married and together, I don't really associate with him.
Dylan is not his son though, right?
No. Caitlin's the only, between John and Angie, Caitlin's the only.
That's theirs.
Yep. And Dylan's dad is a guy named Steve Yeager, which they don't have nothing to do with each other. So, as far as my knowledge now, I ain't talking.
Dylan's in the service.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's in Virginia now.
Yeah, Virginia, that's what I keep on hearing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know one place or the other where he's at.
Yeah.
All I know is he's in the National Guards. But I'm just trying to stay out of the news. And I got my own
You're not
problems.
going to You're not going to
You know.
No. The news is done for now. I mean, well, they'll have a follow-up.
Well, yeah, I know that.
That'll be with
Cool.
those guys, not us.
Okay.
Um,
And I don't want to be caught up on the stand or anything like that. I'm just trying to stay out of it, but I will help you out as much as I
Yeah.
can. Because it's sad.
yeah, no.
You know, and, you know, I work today and because I drive a truck. I drive a loaded truck. And after I parked the truck and I finally got a hold of Bradley the last time, he said, well, I'm trying to figure out what's going on and all that. I said, I'm on my way. As soon as I go to the house, pick Tanya up, we're coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually started crying because you know, John was a good guy. You know, he didn't deserve it. You know, and it's just fishy. Which I know y'all got crimes here in Olive Branch, but it's not Memphis.
No.
And
In general, we don't have shooting crimes.
that's
Especially not just random shooting crimes.
That's subdivision.
Right.
Because I ain't been over there in God knows how long, but it's a nice subdivision.
Absolutely.
That's something just don't happen.
Let me go find a pen.
Go ahead.
I'm sure you're getting tired. I'm sure you're wanting to go too. So
Yeah,
just
just a cigarette.
Me too.
I'm a smokeaholic, man. Only thing I do, though.
Be right back.
Yes, sir.
And do they get along with John good?
This one here, John, the Army one, John talks real good about him. He,
Hang on a minute. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we are. Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes, sir. Sorry. So, you were saying Dylan what?
John always talked really good about Dylan. Dylan's always been our, how do you say it, the responsible child.
Mm-hmm.
The one that always got up and helped with the other kids, and he's always been the one that had his head on his shoulders as a child. And yeah, him and Dylan got along good. Bradley, John always downed him, told him he was just his dad.
So Bradley didn't like him very much?
Bradley liked him. Bradley loved him as a stepdad. Bradley never talked bad about him. The only time Bradley ever talked negative towards John is when John and I would fight. But Bradley always, Mom hates more of my dad than my dad is. You know, he was always there. So the kids, they cared a lot for John. And I think when John looked at Bradley, he seen Bradley's daddy, because he looks so much like Bradley. He looks so much like his dad, but I don't think he had anything against the kids, other than the fact that Bradley's lazy.
Yeah. And you said you went to bed what time last night?
It was about 10:30 or 11, 'cause I told my daughter to take her shower. She had a friend over last night. Right.
What time did her friend leave?
About 8:37. Maybe a little bit after 9, because they were doing their project for school. And after she left, I told Kate, I said, Kate, you need to get in the shower, baby. You need to get your shower done. You know, it was 10:30, like 10:36 on the clock, and Kate was still in the bathroom, and I hollered at her and told her it was after 10:30. She needed to get into bed.
Okay. And what kind of gun do you have?
It's a 9mm Ruger. It's loaded.
Is it the LC9?
I have my box to it. I left it on my bed, but I have my box, but I can't find my receipt.
That's fine. Where'd you buy it?
Sports Authority. It's in South Haven, the sporting goods.
Sportsman's Warehouse?
I think so.
The big,
Yeah, you know, if you go in and you buy a gun, they don't let you go out the front door. They always take you out the front, but it's through the office part.
through the office area and out
So
he's gonna,
Let me borrow your cell phone if you don't mind. I'm gonna do a cell phone dump a bit.
do you need to get a consent form?
Either consent or I can do search
Help
warrant,
me.
either one.
Can I text my daughter real quick
Sure.
and let her know not to?
That's fine, it won't bother anything, it'll all be on there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it won't bother anything.
No. Is there a passcode or anything?
It shouldn't lock. Here, I'll take it off though. Connection sounds, notifications.
Lock screen.
Oh, where was that?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Screen laptop.
Look at you.
I have to do this all day.
Do you have any objections to him?
I feel like I'm being accused here now. But
No,
This
no.
is a process of elimination.
Elimination.
You know, when a spouse, something happens to a spouse, you have to eliminate the other spouse. And I think we've been talking and trying to get a background here. I don't think anything's been said that would make you feel like you were.
double check, make sure it ain't gone.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. I'll come back with the consent form right quick.
Sorry, I just.
You're a boss in Florida. How long did you say you worked for him?
I've been working for him since about June of last year. I went to New York with him and done a house over there. My husband liked him, is the only reason I was allowed to work for him. And he knows I'm not doing nothing. I don't have that drive to do nothing. I just like to work.
So, if I go over here to the trailer park and pick your boss up from Florida, is he gonna say the same thing? No relationship between you and him at all?
He's actually in off of Walnut Grove.
Right,
Yeah.
Memphis.
But yeah,
What did I say, Walls?
you said over here at the trailer park.
Well, that's what I meant, the RV park up there. If we go up there and talk to him, is he gonna tell me the same thing?
He'll come here and talk to you.
Okay.
He's worried about me right now, so I didn't text him this morning. Told him I couldn't come in.
Who did you call earlier and say you couldn't come in?
Him.
And what was he asking you?
He was asking me what was going on. I said I couldn't talk about it right now. Just I can't come to work right now.
Okay.
But I don't know, he wanted to come out to my house. And I told him, I said no, everything's gonna be fine. I'm okay. He asked me if my daughter was okay, because apparently he feels like something's wrong. When I told him I couldn't come to work, I never miss work unless I'm sick. And if I'm sick, I'm gonna tell him I'm sick.
I mean, just talking to you, you're calm, you're cool, I feel like there's more to y'all's relationship than what you're actually letting me know. You're using your husband, y'all fighting and not getting along and all that.
Me and my husband hadn't been fighting, like, just recently.
Like,
Because he's stressed. He is very stressed over money. Because he knows he owes a lot of money to the court. And budget money.
how much money would you say you have in your account right now?
He just got paid yesterday.
So y'all aren't hurting.
We're not hurting, no. But I don't always tell him everything we have.
So he doesn't know you have $16,000 somewhere else.
He does know. He knows we got money. He don't know exactly how much. Because if he knew exactly how much, we would be running out buying something we don't need right now. My thing is I want to pay all of our bills off, which we're working on it. He just paid tons off the other day. It was like $570 for some furniture crap that was I don't need. But he likes to shop. He wants a sports car, the one that we can afford. And I could be okay with that if we didn't have the truck payment. I just can't see having two really, really high payments. Because I don't work every day. I don't work all the time. Like, winter months, it's hard to find some work. Because I can't work in the cold at all. It kills me.
Does your husband talk to the guy you worked in Florida? Does he talk, do they have like a talking friendship? Do they call each other and talk?
No, they don't talk to each other on the phone.
They text or anything like that?
No, they don't. No.
Does your husband text anybody? Just you, other than you and...
No, he texts his kids, Franco, Terry, a lot of dirty pictures to the guys at work, men stuff. But no, me and my husband don't have a horrible relationship. Have normal family issues.
Because I've been doing this a long time, okay? I got 20 years just at this.
I'm scared to death right here. I ain't even gonna lie, I ain't never been in the jailhouse like this.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I was geared towards thinking you shot him, okay? And then I looked at the crime scene, and I walked it, and I looked at it. That man was running for his life. Somebody was after that man. He ran 4 houses from your house. And he was scared for his life.
I don't know who else he...
Do you remember seeing the towel on the ground?
I've seen that.
Is that y'all's towel?
I don't remember ever having a towel. I don't know.
Have towels that cover?
I don't think so.
So you don't know where that towel came from? Did he have one in the truck that he sat on? Did he have one in the back seat?
I don't know. I never get in the truck. My daughter drives the truck when she's with her dad.
So basically you and your husband exist in a house together and y'all pretty much have separate lives. That's what I'm hearing from you.
We don't really have separate lives, but, you know, we both get up, we go to work. He leaves early as crap, so he's tired when he comes home. And he's in the bed earlier than me, because I'm not going to go to bed and go to sleep until I know my daughter's in bed. That's my main focus, is my kid.
So when he gets up to go to work in the morning time, does he take a shower?
Mm-mm.
He doesn't take a shower to go to work?
Mm-mm. He takes a shower as soon as he gets home at night. He comes in, he goes to the bathroom, and he's back there about an hour in the bathroom. He watches Netflix on his phone, so he'll have like a little speaker and his Netflix sitting up on the little shelf beside the toilet, and he'll watch that and sit on the toilet, and then he takes a shower. Sometimes he'll come in the kitchen and cook. Sometimes he'll, depends on what he's cooking. A couple nights ago, he made something, spaghetti. What did we have the other night? He cooked something, and we ended up sitting down watching a movie in the living room. And Kate, she's like, I'm not watching this. Now teenagers are. So she goes to her room, and he asked me, he's like, you want to go to the room and finish this? I was like, if you want to, but I know I want to go to bed. And I know he just told me the other day he's ready for some time off. And I told him, I was like, John, I've been telling you, honey, you don't need to be working that much. I'm younger than you. I'm like 36. I can handle it better than you can. You're getting old.
So this Kevin guy you work with, what's his name?
Kevin Johnson.
Mhm.
That's one I work with in Memphis. Real good Christian guy. See him about maybe, well, yesterday I didn't see him at all on the job. I went over, he told me what he wanted me to do. I took care of it, and I left the job, went home. Well, I went, yeah. But we remodel houses. He subcontracts it out.
And where's his office at?
To be honest, I met the guy through my mom's ex-husband from years ago. He works for him, and he asked if he needs some extra hands. And at the time in January when I first started working for him, I needed a job. I got tired of sitting at home. So I went to work on like January 13th, the day after my birthday, and I've missed several days since the car accident. But I do a lot of tile work for him, sheetrock, patching holes, landscaping.
Does Kevin own a lot of property up in Memphis area?
I don't know that he owns a lot as much as he goes out, gets the work, and then he gets us to do the work.
Does Kevin do drugs?
No, I wouldn't think.
Does your boss from Florida, does he do drugs?
I wouldn't think so.
And what does he drive?
Who?
Your boss from Florida.
Dodge Caliber.
So how does he pull his RV?
He pulled the car with the RV.
So it's a motorhome.
Yeah.
Okay. So he drives up here with the motorhome with the car attached to it. And how long does he stay here when he's here?
It depends on what he's got going. The house in Memphis on James Street we did, it took us a little over a month to complete the house. And then he left and went back to, he went to Florida. Then him and his wife went out to New York and back to Florida. He's here now because a guy from New York owns a duplex off of Park Avenue, and they're redoing the roof on it right now. So I told him I can't go back to work there until, I'm not getting on that roof. Tree fell there, and it just does not look safe. And I told him, I said, my husband and kid needs me at home every night. So I'm not getting on the roof. You're going to have to hire that one out.
On these cell phones, when we dump them, they can get all the deleted information and all the current information, okay? So if there's something in that phone that would implicate you in anything, you need to let me know now, okay? Because this is the critical point right here, okay? So if you've been having an affair or anything like that, I need to know it.
I ain't been having no affair. I talk a lot of shit with people, but I ain't been having no affair.
Like, who do you talk shit with?
I talk shit with everybody. But when it comes down to sleeping with somebody, that's my husband. If I'm going to have sex with somebody, I'm going to have sex with my husband.
The detective feels that there is something that doesn't ring genuine about Wilty's insistence that she is faithful to her husband, and decides to focus her attention on that point.
So who do you talk shit with at work?
I don't work with people I talk shit with.
So who do you talk shit with?
Like my friend. I talk shit.
Your friend? What's his name?
I haven't really talked crap with him in a really long time though.
What's his name?
Rodney.
Rodney, no.
Lee. All I tell him is things like I missed you. Things like that, because he's like my best friend.
What's his last name?
Leith.
Leith. Where's Rodney live?
Memphis.
And does Rodney do drugs?
No.
Who else do you talk to like that?
And the 3 people I talk to on my phone, anyway, besides my kids. And that's Rodney, my boss, Shelby. I talk to my dad, my stepdad.
Wilty's casual mention of her stepfather goes unnoticed, but will have a major impact later in the case.
And Kevin calls. I don't really talk on the phone much, so I play games on my phone more than anything. That's what me and my husband, that was one of all the arguments. He says I'm always on the phone. And I'm not. I'm always on the phone playing games. And I like talking on the phone.
You said Kevin doesn't own the company?
No. Kevin owns the company.
What are they?
Modeling. I got my phone. Everything's in my phone. They're modeling. We're modeling something.
And Kevin, does he do drugs?
No, I don't know Kevin that well. Like I said, I just started working for him in January.
Mm-hmm.
I see him every Friday when he pays us, and I talk to him maybe once or twice during the week, and then other than that, I don't see Kevin a whole lot. He'll bring materials to the job. He may stay around for a little while and help out, but I don't talk to him a whole lot.
And there's no other weapons in that house?
Not that I'm aware of.
And I'm gonna pull the shell casing out of that door and send it to forensics and match it with your gun.
Okay.
You won't be able to get your gun back until that's all done with, okay?
Okay.
Alright.
So I have the box and all my paperwork on it. I just don't know where my receipt is.
That's fine. Where did your daughter go? Whose house did she go to?
Trisha Walker.
Where they live?
Down off of Center Hill Road.
Does she go to Center Hill?
Yes, ma'am. Center Hill High.
Is that her friend that was at the house last night?
It was one of her friends from school.
But was she at y'all's house last night? And you said that towel didn't belong to you?
I don't think so. I can't say 100% though.
Do you not have like one certain color, or do you have multiple colors?
I've got some towels that I've been washing lately that I don't know that I've never seen them. But I do a lot of everybody's laundry.
Everybody, all three of y'all?
No, I do. Ours, I do my dad's, and I do my stepdad's, which they live in the same house. So I'll go and get their laundry once a week and do their laundry.
Your dad and your stepdad live together?
Weird. It's my name dad. My mom was with him. His mom says my dad. And the other guy, my mom was married to, like 36, so years and years ago.
Where do they live?
In Memphis, on
Sykes
Avenue.
Where?
Sykes Avenue.
Sykes Avenue? Do they do drugs?
My dad's full diabetic. He just got back home from the hospital. I call the other guy my stepdad because I don't really know how to refer to him other than my mom's ex-husband, which kind of sounds weird because my mom's ex-husband and my dad's living in the same house together. So, and I work with him. Theo and I both work together for Kevin and for Shabby.
Your
which is
stepdad
Nicole.
and your dad
Yeah, we all work together.
for Kevin.
And Shabby.
How did you meet Shabby?
Theo.
Who's Theo? Your
The
stepdad. And you've never had an affair with Shabby,
No.
but you've been to New York with him.
Me, yes. I've been to New York with him. I've been to Florida to his and his wife's house.
Was she there?
Yes.
Where do they live in Florida?
Hudson. No, I'm faithful to my husband when it comes to laying down with another man.
Do you think your husband was out buying drugs when he would take money out of the account?
I can't say that. He tells me he just likes to have money on him. I like to have a little bit of money on me too, but not $200, $300, $400 at a time.
And then last night you never heard any gunshots or anything?
Can I have a smoke while you get water?
Just a minute, I'll get somebody to go out with you. Okay. Now, I told you that phones, when we download them, we can get information that was deleted. So, I got a little more information, and I need you to be completely honest with me, okay? I know some things have been going on between you and John, and y'all hadn't been getting along.
We've been arguing a good bit, but to me, it's normal crap because we argue about everything.
Okay.
We're totally opposite, and no argument is worth all this, honest to God. Any argument him and I've ever had is worth this.
Well, by looking in your phone, there's some things in there that I think you're being deceptive about, okay, with me.
Right.
Like, these people you talk shit to, like you said. Who have you been having an affair with?
I'm not having an affair.
Do you just lead these guys on and make them think you want to be with them?
I don't want to be with nobody but my husband.
The stuff that's in your phone leads me to believe that you have been having an affair. Okay? So, I need you to be completely honest with me. Because phones don't lie,
No, I know.
okay? Texting don't lie. It's there. It's in black and white. And the stuff that's in his phone, he's gonna leave you.
I figured that's probably what we were coming to when we started back fighting over money. It's always fighting over money.
But you have, the money's not the issue right now. The issue is that your husband was shot 3 times. And he was scared for his life. He ran for his life. And you know more than what you're telling me. And you can't sit here and tell me you don't. You know more than what you're telling me.
I don't know anything as far as him getting hurt, because I would never want to see him get hurt. I've always been there to protect him.
Black and white don't lie. You hear me? Black and white don't lie. Phone calls, cell phone locations.
What's that mean?
That means I can ping anywhere in this town and they will tell me what cell phone was in that location. Okay?
And the location, like this morning?
Yeah.
When I was asleep?
Yeah. But you know who came over there.
I don't. I swear I don't.
You know I can pull all that off your phone. I've got it downloaded right now. Text messages, phone calls, conversations.
I know Shelby was supposed to come and wake me up this morning.
What time was Shelby supposed to come wake you up?
He was supposed to come over at 5:30 and wake me up.
Wake you up for what?
To go to work. Get up, get my daughter to
Why
school.
would he come over there and wake you up?
Because that's him. That's what he does sometimes.
You've been having an affair with him, hadn't
I
you?
swear I haven't. I've never slept with that man.
You've been leading him on?
Nope. We've talked. We've got a lot in common, but no. I'm not screwing around on my husband.
Your text messages say differently.
I know. It seems like we've had an affair. But
You have had an affair with that man.
I swear
That
I
man
haven't
came over
slept
this
with
morning
you.
and shot your husband, didn't he?
No. I swear I don't know that. You call him and get him in here, but I don't even know that he ever came out there.
Wilty's lover would be the first person anyone would suspect. Either Wilty wasn't confident he could pull it off, or else she wasn't going to risk using someone she could easily be linked to through the affair.
I told him he could come over at 5:30 and ring my doorbell and wake me up.
Why do you think your husband wanted to leave?
I don't know.
Because he found out you were having an affair.
So why hadn't he talked to me?
Why would he want to? He just wanted to leave. And your boyfriend shot him.
I don't know that.
You don't know that?
I swear I don't. I don't even know if Shelby owns a gun.
How long you been seeing Shelby?
I haven't been seeing Shelby. I've been working for Shelby. Shelby's the one who came to my house last night and was working with my husband on the truck. But
Is this something you and him put together?
What?
You and Shelby, is this something you and him put together to get rid of your husband?
No. I would have never had someone to kill my husband. He is too good of a person for this. He could have had a better life. It's not worth killing somebody to be with somebody. It's not worth it. That's crazy.
Have you led Shelby to the point to where he thinks you were going to leave your husband to be with him?
Shelby knew me and my husband were arguing and had some problems. Shelby talked to me. He tried to guide me a little bit, but we've never slept together.
What was he guiding you to?
Telling me how, because I suck when it comes to words. I suck when it comes to trying to talk to somebody.
Well, by your text messages, you don't have a problem at all.
I don't have a problem talking
to other men.
Well, yeah.
Okay? You don't have a problem talking to other men. I mean, truth's truth, right?
Right.
It's in black and white. Can't lie about it. Did you walk outside and shoot your husband this morning?
I was in bed. I was actually laid in the bed beside my husband at 10:36 when my daughter was coming out of the bathroom.
I don't believe you. By reading your text messages, I don't believe you one bit. By reading your text messages, grand jury ain't gonna believe you either.
I've never hurt my husband.
You know who did?
Not like that.
You know who did?
I don't.
How long have you and Shavy been talking?
I've been working for Shelby since June.
So y'all been talking
On and
since
off.
June. You've been leading him on since June.
I hadn't been leading him on.
By your text messages, it's different things.
I hadn't led nobody on.
When you talk to a man like that, what do you think it does to him? Woman to woman. If I talk to a man like you talk to Chavez, or Chavez, whatever his name is, that man's going to think you want to be with him. Right?
He knows I don't.
But you don't talk like that to somebody. It puts them in a different frame of mind about you and them. And that's, you know who shot the man.
I don't.
Your daughter is not going to have a mother. Because when I take your phone and all your phone records and his phone and all his phone records and present them to the grand jury, your daughter will finish school and graduate and get married and have children without her mother. Because I'm put the hammer on you.
I don't know why he did it.
You can sit here and think about it for a few minutes, and I'll be back in here. When you get ready to tell me the truth, I'll listen to you. But when I take you down there and present you to the grand jury, your daughter will finish school without you.
I can walk out now, right?
No?
I'm not under arrest.
I don't mean to be mean to you, okay? We just gotta find out what's going on, okay? Because whoever shot him, he knew. Whoever shot him approached him at the car and shot him. He ran, screaming and yelling for help. He was shot twice in the chest and once in the head.
Oh my God.
And like I said, I don't want to be mean to you.
I would never in my life take my husband away from my daughter like that.
But would Chavez, would
I
he do
don't
that?
believe he would do that. I honestly, God, I don't believe he would do that.
I honestly, I know the man was scared to death. And the man, whoever...
He's scared of somebody had a gun pointed into me.
He ran. He ran through the yards, out in the road, back into the yards, and was shot again.
I would rather him leave me, us split up, than something like this happen to him.
This is a terrible, terrible, unfortunate event for you and your daughter and his children. because now they don't have a father.
John's children did not believe the official theory that their father had been the victim of a gang-related killing. They were suspicious of their stepmother from the beginning and brought their concerns to the police.
And by looking in your phone, honey, you're not innocent.
I may not be innocent from talking to guys, but I had nothing to do with my husband. I could not see somebody losing their life over no kind of argument. I couldn't take my husband away from his daughter like this. Me and this man is all that child has.
Have y'all just maybe fallen out of love, you and him? Maybe you didn't love him anymore, that way that's what you were going to these other men for, how they talked to you or whatever? The things that they said to you? Even though if you wasn't sleeping with them.
None of it is worth this.
Remember how when you were a teenager, okay, you and John met, y'all talking, texting, whatever, back 16 years ago. I don't think texting was that prominent, but you remember the feelings that you had when somebody engaged you and made you feel like a new person. The text messages between, how do you say his name, Chavez? Shabby? Why do you call him that when his name is started?
When I first met him, that's what I was introduced to, was Shabby.
Just Shabby. S-H-O-V.
S-H-A-B-I.
Because it seems, it seems like you and him text quite a bit. I mean, did he take it the wrong way, I wonder? Do you think he's capable of doing something like that?
I don't think so.
Anybody that you hang out with, do you think they're capable of doing something like that?
I wouldn't think so. I don't hang out with
Right.
a bad crowd. I get up, I go to work, take my daughter to school, I go to work. I work all day and I come home.
When you're at work, do you flirt with those guys?
I work with Theo.
Which is your stepdad?
That's the only person I work with. I work with Shelby, and normally when I'm working with Shelby, Theo's with me, or my dad's with me.
Have you met Shelby outside of work without anybody else?
A couple of times, but
Were y'all in
nothing.
public? Were y'all?
Yeah, definitely in
motorhome?
public.
I mean, apparently things have gotten so bad that your husband texts several people about rooms for rent. He wanted to leave you.
Well, he got tired of me working all the time. He did tell me that. Because sometimes I work till 7 o'clock at night.
But it seems like to me y'all both worked a lot.
And that's what I kept trying to tell him. What is the difference in me working a lot when you're working the same? You're working a lot. You're working overnight. Or are you working overnight?
I mean, is that his normal shift? How long has he been working this 5 in the morning shift?
For the last couple of years.
So just maybe 2 years or more?
Maybe a little more.
And he never got into an argument with anybody?
I don't know. He doesn't talk about work. I know he was stressed out from work. He just told me he was ready for some time off. And I told him, take some time off. You got vacation, take it. You want to go somewhere? Take it. I'll take off.
And you don't think Kevin would shoot him?
Kevin doesn't even know my husband.
Your husband doesn't know him either?
No. He strikes me to be the upstanding Christian type guy.
So you said your gun was where? Who used to have your gun?
Rodney. I let him have my gun because when I go to the military post, I can't have it on me. And I don't like to carry it around in my car because I'm not technically licensed. I heard in Mississippi you can have it in your car.
It's open carry.
Well, I leave it in my car. The other night when I left my car outside in the driveway, I took it in the house and stuck it down beside my bed, kind of under my bed. Because I knew if my husband seen it in the house, he was going to flip out. He was going to have a conniption fit.
Does he not like guns, or he just can't be
He's not
around
allowed
them?
to be around them. And
Yeah.
I forgot to put it back in my car.
There's a Mississippi Department of Correction card in his car.
Mm-hmm.
Is he on parole
Probation.
through the Mississippi Department of Correction?
He had it transferred from Tennessee to here.
So he got felony charges in Tennessee.
I think, I'm not sure. The paperwork's in the truck.
Okay. I was just wondering because normally if you're just on probation through a regular court, it's just like probation through a court.
Yeah.
But he had a Department of Correction card. So I didn't know if he had felony charges or not.
I don't really know I didn't go to court that last time because I had to work that day. I was going to court with him every time, but like they just kept postponing it, so I was like, look, they're probably just going to postpone it again.
When did he move back into the marital home?
August.
16?
I think so.
Because you said he moved out.
It's been back for about a year and a half, so he told me yesterday.
You said he moved out in August of 2015. He got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
So he moved in back home when August of 17.
No, he's been back a year, about over a little over a year.
So probably 2017 he moved back in.
This is only 18,
Right.
so August. Oh, right. Wait a minute. This is only March, so it'll be 16.
So he was only gone a year. Y'all were separated for a year from
No. When he first moved out, he moved in one apartment. Then they stayed there.
who's they?
Him and Kyle, his roommate. So
Kyle's who he works with, right?
that he can't stand. He don't like him.
They live together.
Yeah, he don't like him now.
What happened there?
Bunch of shit.
Like what?
When me and John were split up, I was talking to Kyle, hanging out with him. John didn't like it.
Were y'all dating?
Not technically
Did you have
dating.
sexual relations with Kyle while y'all were split?
Well, me and John were split up, yes.
And while John was living with him?
Yes. John found out, and that's what the fight.
Wilty finally admits that she wasn't faithful to her husband. If she had volunteered that she had been seeing someone while she and John were separated, the detective might have been more willing to believe that hadn't been a point of contention in the relationship. Wilty's insistence that she had never had an affair only served to make herself more of a suspect.
That's the fight that y'all, where he got arrested. Okay. It was over Kyle. See, I told you, I felt like you weren't telling me everything.
It was, like I told John, we were split up. He lived in his place, I lived in mine. And
But why would you go out with somebody you worked with?
it didn't really start out like that. It was like just hanging out, being friends. Hanging out by the swimming pool, watching the kids swim. You know, he had 2 young kids. I had Caitlin. just hanging out. John wasn't there. He was always working or gone or whatever. And, you know, I didn't, like, go over there to hook up with him.
I don't mean to be mean again, okay, but do you do heroin or anything
No.
like that? Have you ever?
No.
Okay.
The only drug I've ever done was weed.
Okay. And whatever prescription drugs that you're prescribed. Adderall, do you have ADHD? And do you take that on a normal, everyday basis? Well, I have to tell you, Angie, you go by Angie or Angela. By your text messages, honey, it don't look good. It looks like you were having an affair with Shabby. I ain't trying to be mean, but you know when you talk to people.
Johnny tells me all the time I have that way about me, that I talk to people and I don't realize that I do it. Like, I don't know. John used to say something to me all the time because we'd go to the store and like, all right, hon, thanks. And he gets mad at me for that. But that's just me. I couldn't help it. I was like, sorry, sweetie. Thanks, hon. He's like, do you know them? I'm like, no. Well, why do you say that?
Do you say stuff like that to Shelby?
Hon? I call
Yeah.
everybody hon.
Do you say, okay, sweetie, okay, darling? You know,
Just,
do you think maybe that this man's gotten attached to you?
I'm sure he's gotten attached to me, but it's not like that type of attachment. He talks and tells me all the time how, you know, we working, because him and I work, like, together, and we do things faster than me and Theo would do them.
Is Theo there when he's there?
Yeah.
So you're never alone with him? Except for when you met him outside of work a few times? And then when you went to New York, were you and John together?
Yeah.
And he knew you went to New York?
John was okay with it. I had my own hotel room. He stayed by his wife's daughter's house.
And what did y'all do in New York?
Roofed a house.
So this man works all over.
He owns houses. He owns houses in New York. He owns some in Florida, and he owns debris here
And you've worked for him how long?
since June.
Of last year? And John moved back in August?
Mhm.
And
John's actually came out on the job with me when I was working in Memphis with Shabby. John's talked to him a lot when he's like out.
Has Shabby been arrested that you know of?
I don't know. I don't know anything about his background. The only thing I do know is he's from Israel originally, but lives in Florida. And I know he lived in New York at one point, and then him and his wife decided to move to Florida where it was warmer.
How old is this man? 40, 50s, 60s?
He's in his 50s.
So he's approximately the same age as your husband, maybe?
I guess.
Because your husband's younger than me.
My husband's 50. He just made 50 in August.
He'll be 51
Oh,
this year.
yeah, I was joking with him one day about telling him at the party. Told me I better not do that.
I'm only trying to find out who killed him.
I want to know who. No, I'll be sitting on my front porch every day now.
Whoever approached him at the truck knew him. He was comfortable with him. He was comfortable with who shot him. And then they chased him down.
He'll be coming over. 'Cause nobody ever knows what time he's leaving for work. That's the thing.
Shabby knows.
Shelby, he knows that he leaves early, but he didn't know that my husband was going to be gone at 5:30.
But he knows.
I just told him he could come over and ring the doorbell at 5:30
To wake you and your daughter up.
to wake me up. My daughter ain't going to hear crap. She's kind of like me. I just don't think he's got it in him, honestly.
But you don't know, do you know when his birthday is or anything like that? You know how to spell his name.
I better write it on a lot of papers. I don't even know if that's the correct spelling. The shabby part. Now, Nissan, I'll deposit his money in his account every month on his rental properties.
Do you go pick up rental checks for him?
Mm-hmm. And if I can't get by there, I'll get my dad to come by there and get it for me. And then I'll get it from my dad, and I'll go put it in the banking account for him.
I want to talk to your daughter, okay? I want to, just kind of get an insight about her dad, okay? I don't know if she'll be able to talk, you know. But your husband was wanting a divorce.
I should have stayed up
You didn't see it coming?
there. I knew he was depressed. I knew he wasn't happy. I know he argues money. I know he makes a lot of money. And he wanted a car. He wanted a fast car. It cost a lot of money.
Well, he talked to several different people about renting rooms from him.
Wilty hadn't expected her husband to go to anyone else about their relationship. She was usually the first person to know when he made those types of decisions, and she wasn't planning on having to explain to the police why he was leaving her. I wanted to remind you once again, my new merch shop is up. StrangerLabel.com is full of relatable designs like the Unstable and the Mentally Checked Out t-shirts, as well as other cool items like the All-Seeing Beanie and the Stranger Socks. Every purchase helps support this channel, and you can even write me a short message on the purchase page. I'll be reading every single message that comes with any order, big or small. So head to StrangerLabel.com and get whatever you want. And with that said, let's get back into the case.
That's why I said whoever approached your husband in the driveway knew him. That's why I think it's someone that you know, someone that y'all dealt with, okay? Can you think of anybody that would hate him that much? Has any of your friends said anything?
I don't talk to hardly anybody. My kids.
Rodney?
Yeah,
Shabby.
Rodney and John got along. They used to work together.
Drug dealer? Is your husband back on drugs?
That's the thing. I don't know, because he was so aggravated all the time that I don't know. He would tell me he was staying late. Sometimes he did, sometimes he didn't. But I wasn't gonna not believe him and just do what I used to do.
What did you used to do?
I used to ride around looking for him.
Did you ever find him? Where'd you find him?
Always at a female's house.
Same one? Different one?
2.
Who?
I don't know the one girl's name over in Memphis. I don't know that he'd mess with her again. No way. But I think if he was messing with anybody, it would have been Dia.
Do you think he was in love with Dia?
Yeah, he told me he was.
Do you think that Dia could do something like this?
I don't know, she had scars of him. The guy that had the car, when me and John got out riding around looking for the car, the guy that was in John's car actually hit me in my car. Well, I wasn't driving, John was driving my car. And John pulled up in front of him, and that dude hit us and pushed us out of the way and took off.
So who was that guy?
I don't know.
They never called him. White guy, black guy?
More Mexican.
You think it was somebody she deals with? Possibility. You know? All things are possible.
Because John never cared about having money on him, like $200 or $300. He never cared about having a lot of money on him. He's like, I'm okay as long as I have $20. And then he gets 200, and a few days later he's broke.
Think he's giving it to Dia?
I don't know. But it's possible.
Or do you think he's just maybe buying more pain pills or something?
It's cold, I'm sorry.
Our phones are freezing.
I stay so cold.
Let me go see if he's got the phone ready. So we can call and see if Patricia can bring her up here, can't she?
Sure do.
She got a phone.
Every
I want to know who did this to her dad. You want to know who did this to her
I'm
dad.
gonna find out who did this.
And, you know, I've read...
Can I have your card?
Yeah, I'll give you one of my cards.
I'm gonna find out.
This is somebody that y'all know.
Every waking moment.
This is somebody you know. Somebody John knows. Somebody y'all had some type of issue with. Could be Chavez, who knows?
I seriously don't think it would be him. He liked John. Him and John got along.
He may think he wanted to be with you or something, you know.
You know.
But your daughter doesn't deserve to go through
No.
life not knowing what happened to her dad.
No.
Not knowing is going to kill her. Not having her dad walk her down the aisle when she gets married. And, you know, I'm going to look at your phone once it finishes getting downloaded. I've pretty much looked at everything in John's phone. I know he was going to leave you. I know he wasn't happy.
I knew he wasn't happy. I knew he was depressed.
Did you know he
I
was going to
knew.
leave you?
No. I knew he was depressed because he wouldn't take his meds. I knew he was depressed, but no, I didn't know he was going to leave.
John's depression likely stemmed from yet another failed relationship. Wilty was becoming increasingly violent, and it took a toll on his mental health.
You can't think of anybody or anything.
I wish he would have talked to me.
Have you talked to somebody before about not wanting John in your life again? Or wanted John dead, or wished he was dead?
No. I never wished he was dead. I wouldn't take my kid's dad away from her like that. I know I grew up not knowing who my father was.
Things happen in a heated moment. I understand that. It's happened to all of us before. If something happened in the heat of a moment, would you tell me?
Yeah. But I was asleep. You got my gun.
but I know John owns a .40 caliber
One gun.
that you know of.
True.
You only have,
He's not able to buy another gun.
you can buy a gun off the street any day. He works in Memphis, right? Works off of Jackson Avenue, right?
He's never told me about another gun.
Apparently, you keep things from him, and
Well,
he
I
keeps
keep
things
money from him because he likes to blow money. But you said he had a what?
A .40 caliber.
A .40 caliber. And what does Terry have?
You said he had a .45.
I said he had a .45. It may be a .40. I don't know. That's why I said Terry has John's gun. The pin, some type of pin, I don't know what it was, that locks the gun because it has a key lock thing to it. It's gone. Couldn't find it. So
the gun's locked, and it can't be used.
you can't load it. You can't shoot it. You can't do nothing with it without that pin in it.
And why would he give it to Terry Rutherford?
Because when he got put on probation, they said no guns are allowed in the house.
But you brought yours there.
Because my car was outside that night.
But you knew that John couldn't be around a gun, so why would you keep that gun?
I thought about that too. But I work in Memphis, and that's why I keep it in my car.
What if somebody stole it out of your car? And it was used in a crime like this?
If somebody stole it, I'd have turned it in stolen.
They get stolen out of cars every day.
I don't think things completely there. But yeah.
And I wasn't trying to be graphic with you when I told you that whoever shot him walked right up on him and shot him. And then they chased him down and shot him in the head. This was not a crime of coincidence. This was somebody wanted John dead. Now your daughter has no father. And your daughter will not have a father to walk her down the aisle or see her graduate or see her grandkids. Your daughter will have an empty hole in her chest and her heart for the rest of her life because somebody has taken her father away from her.
I'm gonna be doing me some digging.
Would Kyle do it?
And
When was the last time you and Kyle talked?
I don't even know.
Long time?
Yeah.
Would Rodney do it?
No. Rodney's not a good person.
What's your past history with drugs?
Weed.
Just weed? Even when you were married to Michael?
Mm-hmm.
And the other, Steve, what about him? What does he do?
I don't know what he does. I hadn't talked to him and seen him since the last time I went to court on child support with him. And he told me he didn't never want to see his son again. Because I took him to court for child support.
You never heard a gun.
Mm-hmm.
You never heard your husband scream.
Mm-mm.
Nothing.
No, ma'am. That's why I'm sitting here. I'm trying to think. I was asleep. I heard the knock on the door, which was more than just a knock, you know. It was,
Popo bang.
yeah. And I was shaking. I woke up shaking. Like, what? You know, it startled me. I didn't know what the crap was going on.
Because for someone whose husband was just violently murdered, You seem like you have no emotions.
Got a lot going through my mind. I know it's gonna hit me. I wanna know who did it.
You know, if your daughter finds out you had anything to do with this, she'll hate you for the rest of her life.
I'd never do this to my kids. I'd never do nothing to hurt my kids. This would devastate her.
This would crush her. Do you have the key to the shed?
Wilty's daughter was devastated, but like her other siblings, she found it easy to suspect that her mother was responsible.
Now I do got a question. It sounds like I'm gonna tell an attorney.
No, they're just looking for a gun. We're checking the backyard, the woods behind the house.
Or they've been in my house.
No, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're here, so the officer sitting in your driveway, I do know that. But they want to check the locked shed to see if there's a gun in there. She thinks that's it right there.
Thank you.
We're walking behind y'all's houses. They started from that cove area, and they're going through those woods.
Well, I know to go through somebody's personal belongings, that's just a warrant. You know, I am being cooperative.
Oh, I know.
I'm not
being overly cooperative. I understand that.
I know I'm innocent. I didn't do it.
And
I had nothing to do with it.
I know you've watched TV, so you know that the spouse is normally
Always the
Okay.
first person to be suspected.
and that's what we're trying to do, eliminate you, okay? And then I'll need to talk to Caitlin and eliminate her. I don't see a problem with that.
A 15-year-old shoot her daddy.
It's
She
happened.
was still sleeping.
It's happened,
You know, when I woke her up, I told her.
I know, I was good night. I just told her. You know,
I'd like to know who did it.
it's an unfortunate situation, and now you're working for people you really don't know. Plus, the text messages that you got in your phone can be misleading, especially for a man that may or may not want you. Okay? I hope you understand that. Because you said John's, talked to you about that before, You're kind of like me, you're oblivious to.
I'm super naive
Yeah.
when it comes to things.
So,
John said he was on there for 16 years about being naive.
but when we dump a cell phone, it dumps the deleted, and I can look at all your deleted and all your current, okay? I want you to understand that. Okay? I'm gonna read it all, okay? I'm just trying to be up front and forward with you, okay?
Wilty isn't too concerned since she had her incriminating conversations with her stepfather face to face.
Well, I know who has the mail to come into the driveway when nobody ever comes to our house. Theo comes to my house a couple times a year, but he's on parole.
Who?
Theo.
That's your stepfather? What's his real name?
CSO.
CSO. That's his real name.
That's his real name. It's on his birth certificate.
And what's his last name?
Norval, Norvell. He was in prison for murder.
You see, these are some things I probably should have known ahead of time. What about your by name father?
Richard, R-I-C-H-A-R-D.
Henry. H.I.
NMARD.
Has he ever been locked up?
He's Army.
How old is CSO?
He's in his 50s. He was born in 50, I think. He's old. He's been out of prison for 5 years. He's on parole. The only way he's allowed to cross the state line would be get a piece of paper from his parole officer.
Or do it and nobody know? Have you been saying things to CO like, me and John are fighting, I'm tired of his ass?
Well, me and CO talk. We work together. We talk, but I don't think any of my problems with John or our fights would cause him to flip.
And it's CSO.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me go pull some records on him real quick, okay?
Can I go smoke while you're there?
We get Craig to get you. He'll smoke with you. Okay. I'm gonna need somebody to come bring you some clothes, okay? The light that they just used, this is my forensic expert, okay? You have gunshot residue all over you.
How is that?
You fired a weapon.
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, the evidence proves that you did.
And this jacket, I just got out of my closet this morning. I haven't even worn it since November.
Your hands tell the truth. That little test I did on you, where I swabbed the back of your hand, your palm, and that light that he just used on you, you're gonna go to jail.
I haven't seen, well, I've held my gun, but I've not shot a gun.
You don't get residue on you unless you shoot a gun. You have blowback all over you, all over your clothes,
I don't see how that's possible.
all over your pants, all over your hands. Okay?
How is this possible when I've been in the bed all
Let me tell
night?
you, your daughter is fixing to be without a mother. She is fixing to go through graduation,
No.
hating you. She is going to go
I
through
swear,
getting
I
married.
was in my
You're
bed.
not
Oh.
going to see grandchildren for the rest of your life. Do you understand me?
I'm listening, but I have not been out of my house.
Remember when I
until
told you
y'all woke me up this
we
morning?
knew? I knew by your phone. I can ping the towers in that area.
I've
Why
not been
would you
out
shoot
for-
him?
I did not shoot him.
Details on who fired each shot were vague, but it is believed that Wilty fired at least once.
I swear I did not shoot my husband. I haven't shot a gun since me and my son went to the gun range.
And how long ago was that?
December. Yeah.
You can either make it easy for yourself, or I can just go ahead and indict you.
I have not
And once
shot
I
my
charge you,
husband.
once I charge you,
I did not shoot my husband.
The residue that's on your hands would not be there if you hadn't fired a weapon.
I have not fired a weapon.
Okay.
I swear to God, I swear on my child's life, I have not fired a weapon.
You want to tell us what happened this morning?
I was in the bed when the cops woke me up this morning. Yeah.
What happened?
I was
What
in
happened?
the bed when the cops woke me up this morning.
All right.
Can I use your phone since I can't use mine?
so then,
Yes, ma'am.
I swear to y'all, I've not shot a gun in months. Several months.
Lady, I won't believe you.
No,
Okay?
you don't. You're
Yeah, I
an officer. Y'all like to frame us. innocent people. That's what's happening.
Okay.
I'm being framed for something I didn't do. I went to sleep at 11 o'clock last night. I woke up when the cops were beating on my door this morning. I have a conscience. I couldn't live with myself. I couldn't live with myself to take my child's father away from her. This is all she has with her mom and daddy. We don't have family here. There's nothing that man could do to me in this world to make me want to kill him. He was tied up in outside our home, I don't know. But I know I didn't do it.
You think he was involved in anything work-related or anything that people that he...
I'm not going to put words in his mouth. The man is not here to defend himself. I can't do it to him. I know he liked his pain pills. I know he liked money, and what he did with his money, I don't know. But I cannot be framed for something I didn't do.
How did a gunshot residue get on your hand?
I don't know how. That's way beyond me.
I mean, it can only get there if you fire a weapon.
Well, I understand that. Unless what? It's from work. You know, I do construction work. I use those nails with the hammers to hammer the stuff into the concrete. That's the only other way.
And you have broken things off with Kyle?
Way long. It's been a long time ago.
He lived with you for a little while, didn't he?
Just a short time while me and John were split up. When John came back home, we were making our marriage work. Yeah, this last couple of months, we've had arguments over money. What family don't argue? I didn't know he wanted to leave me over it. I know I work a lot. I have no in-between with me. I'm either all work or none at all.
And you and Kyle broke it off. Let me explain something to you. There's people from your husband's employment here,
Okay.
and they have different stories.
Nobody out there likes me because of the fight me and John had in 2015. I haven't spoken to Kyle since I know this year at all. I can't tell you exactly the last time I spoke to him. But no, I haven't.
Angela, gunshot residue would not be on your hands if you had not picked up a gun and fired it.
I have not shot a gun.
But evidence does not lie.
I have not shot a gun in months. I put that on my daughter's life, and that's my whole life right there.
Well, your daughter's up here.
Okay. I have not shot a gun in months. Months. The last time I shot a gun was with my son at the gun range.
All those pictures we just took, all that gunshot residues all over you. Your hands are glowing.
I don't know how.
Because you shot a gun.
I haven't shot a gun. God's my witness, I have not shot a gun.
And let me just explain something to you, okay?
Why would I be sitting
You
in
lied to
here?
me about Terry Rutherford.
What about Terry Rutherford?
Terry Rutherford has never had your husband's gun.
That's what my husband told me. I can only tell you what my husband told me.
Well, I can't get your husband's side of,
I know.
of it now because he's been shot.
Well, he told me he took the gun to work to Terry. Now, that's all I know. I know the gun's not at my house, and I asked him, I was like, well, can you bring your case back so I could put my gun in it? He was like, yeah, so he brought the case home. But the gun, he told me he let Terry have it, or keep it, because he's on probation. And he said, as long as I kept my gun in the car, nothing should be said. So I kept my gun in the car just until the other night. And I brought it in, I laid it on my bed. You have my gun. It's the only gun I've ever shot in my whole life. I've never shot another gun.
Well, I have enough to charge you.
I've never shot a gun. Not recently. I swear to you, I'll put that on my daughter's life.
I've been very patient with you, and I've tried to work with you on this.
I'm sitting here telling you the truth.
You
I'm
are
not
not.
lying to you.
You are not telling me the truth.
I am telling you the truth.
Is the gun in your car?
What gun?
Your
You
husband's
got-
gun?
No, I don't have. He gave it to somebody. He told me Terry. That's all I can go off of.
When you shot your husband this morning,
I
what'd you
didn't
do
shoot
with
my
it?
husband. I don't have a conscience to shoot somebody.
I believe that. I believe you don't have a conscience.
After John was murdered, the gun was hidden under a cat litter bucket and placed under the house. The ammunition matched the casings found at the murder scene. Angela Wilty was charged with plotting the murder, but she accepted a plea deal. In exchange for testifying against her stepfather, she was only sentenced to 20 years in prison. CSO Norval went on trial in 2022 and was acquitted by a jury. That's the end of today's video. If you liked what you watched and want to support the channel, hit the like button and check out my Patreon link in the description. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.